Okay, let's just turn this volume way down. So I've got my headphones way up. So I like to do one click.
Ready.
That works. Okay, so I don't want to particularly. I do want to talk about this game I'm in, but first I want to talk about. Okay, so we want to build our field of energy, and we want to be able to build our field of energy in such a way that um, that it really does serve us well. And we want to be able to build our field of energy in such a way that first we have to understand what's happening in the position, and it's usually either one or two things. Either a bunch of stuff's happening and we just don't have time right now to build our field of energy, and it will not serve us well to build it, because I get a tempo on this pawn, and I believe I play here, and then I believe if knight attacks the queen, um, he's going to have to push the pawn. I'm going to put my queen here, and I'm going to hit this twice. And if the knight comes here, I'm taking. Bishop takes, and then bishop takes with my queen here. So in this game, my opponent totally played not. I don't think so good, because he's allowing me some quick development, and he's allowing me to really build a box. So where's my box at? Well, I'm thinking that right now this probably is my field of energy right here. And my field of operations goes all the way up to here, but it really goes from here all the way to here. It's my field of operations. Okay, so he's gonna, what did he do? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go right here. And then if the knight goes here, I'm gonna take it, and I'm just gonna take that pawn. Oh, it looks an awful lot like he wants to play. Yeah, but I still could go here. If the knight goes here, if the bishop goes here, bishop takes bishop, knight takes, hitting the queen. Queen goes here. Where does the knight go? If I take this, it goes here. I'm still protected, so I'm winning this pawn. So he really let me set up, not just set up a field of energy, but set up a field of operations. It's a little backward, but set it up, and also he decided to enter my field of operations where I have more energy. So tactics should be mine. Maybe the queen's got to go here, and then the rook goes here, hitting the knight, maybe. This looks logical. The queen going here looks logical enough to me. But it doesn't really work because no, I don't, because he's got two. I'd have to think about that. Yeah, I think I just would go ahead and develop my rook here. Um, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Or maybe go here. Now maybe he hits my queen with the knight. I think I just take, and then probably queen takes because he's still got to hold the pawn. And I think then I just go ahead and oh, this pawn's going to be hanging if I do that, though, isn't it? This is going to be hanging. Let me see. You still have to play it out. Even with a field of operations, you still have to play it out. So he entered into my field of operations. So a lot of times I think when we see grandmasters sacking material and stuff for something or sacking a pawn, okay, he wants to play that. I think I'm fine with that. I could actually, let me think about that for a second, because he's got this. See, I don't want to take this pawn, right? Oh wait, maybe I can take this pawn. I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. So I have to think about that for a second. I take the pawn, he takes here, my queen takes the pawn, the knight's hanging, right? So but then this one's hanging, so he just retracts the bishop somewhere, right? I think he's got to take with the pawn. Oh, he's going to take with the knight. He's going to take with the knight. Oh, he's going to take with the queen. Oh, that's a blunder and a half. That's a serious blunder. Blunder City, I love when my opponent blunders. I love when my opponent blunders. I love when my opponent blunders. Blunder City, I love when my opponent blunders. Blunder, blunder everything away. Blunder, 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 blunder. I love when my opponent blunders. I love when my opponent blunders. I love singing crazy, stupid songs like that. This isn't too much of a blunder, though, because I think he gets his pawn. I can't take here because rook takes, right? I don't know, though. I got this check here, winning this rook, so maybe I can. If queen takes, bishop takes. If queen takes, rook takes, queen, check. King moves, win this pawn. Isn't it wonderful to have tactics work for you? Just totally work for you. Okay, he could have this pawn. I'll take that pawn. Let's see. Can we do this? Rook takes, queen takes, queen takes. This one's still hanging. I got a lot of time on my clock, so I can go all the way back. That's why I'm playing long classical games, and these are for points too. I've been getting beat up, but I've been playing a little nervous and stuff. So, but I should be playing better in about a week or so. I think I'll be playing much better. And I've been doing this other thing, working on this other thing of every nightly self-hypnosis trick to just get my brain to function correctly when I play. Because sometimes I get so nervous when I play. Somehow I get jittery inside. Aaron Nemeth had a problem kind of like that, but not exactly the same. But it definitely was a problem for him. The great Aaron Nemeth, I put the rook here just for a second. The creator of my system, of course, and very well the father of positional chess. With great power comes great responsibility. So, okay, so I'm gonna play this bishop move here with this cheesy checkmate threat in a minute. If he puts his rook here, I'm playing my bishop here. If he plays rook takes rook, I'm gonna play queen to h1 checkmate Watergate. 1642, he's very close to me. I should get maybe 6 or 7 points out of this and be maybe about 17, 15. I was almost at 1800. I don't think I broke 1800. Okay, so that's smart of him. I probably should have played here is what I should have played. This is probably an inaccuracy, but it's okay because I'm the one that has the extra material. So all I have to do is play solid. Just play some solid chess. That's all I have to do. I should have went here. with it. Still hold the threat, but I don't think he's going to push. I think he's smarter than that. He's a pretty smart guy, this guy. Oh, interesting. Let's go here. Protect the pawn. Now I can put my rook here. And then I want to apply some pressure to this queen, right? But if we go all the way back, these moves were bad for him. He shouldn't have done all these moves. And I just got a real nice field of energy. This box right here, this nice square box. And I got a real nice field of operations, this 12 square box to play with. And then he decided to enter it. And entering it, well, and he did blunder, of course. But let's go all the way back here to this move here. Okay, so this was a bad move because I could just take the pawn. Oh no. Wait a minute. Didn't I analyze taking the pawn? I take the pawn. I thought maybe he might have. Oh yeah, that's right, because this pawn was hanging. So I think he would just. Well, I think I just win a pawn though. Okay, he's gonna go there, and he's gonna try some really cheesy mate, right? Some cheese. Let's see. I'll go here. Ding 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 ding. I just want to checkmate the king. Okay, so I don't even have to think about checkmating the king. I just have to keep my king safe and just play with my extra material, and I still have this massive field of energy, and I still have a pretty lot of this field of energy, and I also have some field of energy here. I'm sorry, field of operations, and some field of operations here. But really, my pawns are dictating queenside play. But at this point, I'm up so much material. All I have to do is just play solid. That's all I have to do. Just play solid. Don't make any mistakes. Don't blunder any pieces. Don't make any moves just because something looks good. Calm down. Calm yourself down. You know. And what are his options? If he plays the pawn here, if he puts his queen here, thinking he's going to maybe put the pawn here, I'm going to hit him real fast, and he's going to have to go. Where's he going to go? Where does he go? He goes right back here. Then I do have a deflection move with this bishop hitting the queen. If it was queen takes bishop, then, oh no, that's not a deflection move. That's just thrown away material. So there you go. See, that's what we were talking about. That's what we want to do. We want to not just make moves. We want to think about our moves and think about things. And even in this, okay, so that's a really good sign. That is a really good sign. Because I think he really has to, and him just playing king safety is I think I'll do that. And I think I'll just do this. I do this instead of putting the rook there because I don't want to take away from the power here. Okay, so because I still have some power inside this field of energy and I don't want to take it away. And and then my rook is still active. Maybe he goes here with the rook. I don't know where you're going to go. Rooks are really horrible middle game pieces, and we're still kind of in a middle game. Even though this is technically maybe an end game, someone would say. I think the golden rule is 14 points worth of material. That's 10, 10, and 13. So I'm under 13. If it's under 14 points, then it's an end game, I guess. Okay, so that's just thrown away material, isn't it? That's just thrown away material. I'll just take that. And he wants to what? Go over here and checkmate me, huh? That's what he wants to do. I'm going right here and I'm just going to say, nope, you're not coming in. You're not coming in. Now his rook's going to have to move. I think I might trade one set of rooks. Maybe. Oh, he wants to go. There's where he wants to go. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. He wants to. What does he want to do? Let's think for a second here. I think I could just play this move is what I need to do. Get my king. My king is a fighting force now. So if I put my rook right here, I think he just pushes, take, and then he checks me right here, and he's going to win this bishop because my king wouldn't be able to go there because of the check, right? Okay, so now what? Now, I could push this pawn real fast. And if he takes, I pin him. Pin the rook. Oh, he did take. Pin the rook to the king. There you go. Absolute pin. This is probably resignable at this point for him. I would think so. But if you see, that's where I started from. I started from being able to create a real nice, and he gave me the moves to do it, so I didn't really do a whole lot in this game to get it. I didn't really fight for it. He just kind of gave it to me. But a whole lot of moves.
Check.
Okay. That I could just take right here. We still have the same situation. This cannot move. It's absolutely pinned to the king. If he puts, what's he gonna do? What does he want to do? Maybe take here. He takes here. I'm just gonna take here. Maybe. Maybe I will take this one because I could always get that check back in if I need it. So I would do that. Now then he's gonna push the pawn though, right? Then I'm gonna pin. I'll just pin the rook. So rook takes pawn. Bishop takes. He goes here. I pin this rook again. I don't think he's going to play that, but he's already like made some moves that I didn't, you know, I kind of would consider dubious. There we go. Let's just take that pawn from him. He's got a check, but I've got a block. Actually, he's got a check. Yeah, I got to block it. That pawn's not pushing. Even if he pushes it, I just take, and if he pushes it, I take, or I take. Doesn't matter. White's like completely lost. He just refuses to resign the game, which I would think that in these classical games you would be more tending towards having players just resign the game decently. I mean, I've proven to this guy that I'm good at this game, right? Or at least, okay, I know that sounded a little arrogant. I've proven to this guy that in this game I've been playing very good and I'm a good player and I've been just crushing this guy, right? So this guy does not need to be like, he just needs to resign now. But a lot of times guys won't, and it's hard to say because this might be a kid. Might be a 9-year-old kid playing or something too. So you can't. You just have to like not. I have to just like not get upset.
Victory.
There you go. Good. Good. Oh, I got the chat off. Oh, he had the chat off. Okay. Oh, I got 18 points for that. Oh man, that's nice. Man, I'm happy about that. I thought I was only getting 5 or 6. I don't know how their scoring system works. Now, chess.com I think would have only given me that 1726. So I'm fighting my way back up. Oh, so there's not a whole lot to go over post-mortem in this game, but that was really a waste of time, and that was a waste of time, and that was a waste of time. Or, I mean, sorry. This is a very nice position I have. Bishops have mobility, so my bishops are mobile. But if we immediately look at this box right here, I've got energy in it. I've got energy in it. I've got energy in it. I've got energy outside of it. I've got energy in it. So here's our box right here. 9 squares, right? That's my box. I could also say this is a box, but this is a more important box because it's centralized, but it's also supporting what my pawn structure says is queenside play. So if I'm going to do anything in my field of operations is going to be on this side. On this side is going to be mine. On this side of my field of operations, this side is mine to do what I want to do with it against him. His side, and play my offensive game is over here on this part of my field of operations. It could change. Maybe something changes, and then suddenly you change the pawn structure, do something. You do something. But when we think in terms of the brute force motif or idea of building the nine square field of energy, and then having either a 15 square, and we do count these squares, but these squares I don't count so much in the field of operations, for the simple fact that usually if you get 15, it's usually these 3 squares and these 3 squares become your field of operation. And really, it kind of gets to this advanced box, what I call the coffin. Field of operations is like the coffin because it's rectangle, but it really is this. In this position, it really is this right here. This is my field of operations. I got the full 15 squares. He did absolutely nothing to stop me from building a real powerful field of energy. So let's look at this game. Let's take this game and throw it in Stockfish real fast. I'm going to have to make this smaller. Sorry, folks. That might bother you. Let's open Stockfish. Now, Stockfish isn't set extremely high, but I don't have to worry about that. It's not set extremely high because this is Stockfish 9, which runs even worse in my computer than Stockfish 8. Meaning, if I play it at it's the maximum I could play it on this computer, it eats up a lot of RAM, uses a lot of RAM, and then other things run real slow. The camera gets really sloppy, and the camera's stronger than this program, so the camera says, "Hey, I'm gonna run sloppy, but I'm running sloppy when I'm not running, and when he's trying to make another video, I'm gonna give him problems." And then what really tends to happen is Tirash, the program Stockfish 9's in. I believe I still got Stockfish 9 in there. Is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I did put Stockfish 9 in, and something happened. It was running really rough, super rough. Now I remember. So this is Frankfish 8.64, but this really is Stockfish 8.64. I just named it Frankfish because I'm just a stinking jerk, and you got to be a jerk sometimes when you're a chess player, right? And I'm just kidding. But so let's go over the game real fast. So we had these 2 moves, and let's look at the engine analysis. Okay, so White is getting a very normal. Well, it's a little high now, but that's very normal. But it's very early in the game. advantage. And and White actually, he actually should have really built a field of energy because he's got a very healthy advantage. You know, 0.25 is fine to build your field of energy. Um, and you might think, well, what does that mean? Okay, 0.25 field of energy. Well, first of all, if we look at this knight, and if we look at this pawn right here, and he's got 0.41. Okay, now we want to find where's his box? Where's his box? And I would say maybe his box is this box. We have energy in the box. We have energy in the box. We have energy outside of the box. Okay, but I have some energy in that box too. And I have some energy outside of the box too. So one would probably say this is the field of energy right here. But at the same time, I've got energy in there too. I've got just as much energy as he has in there. So the energy factor is pretty equal. So then we have to look and we have to say, well then that all looks equal. Then let's look at this box. But this box is the exact same thing. In fact, I've got energy here. He's got some energy here. I've got inside of it. So I got energy inside it. I got a little bit more energy than he has inside this box. And he has energy, and so he has energy here, here. And he has energy here. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have energy in 3 points of this box. He has energy in 1, 2, 3. So that's totally equal. So then what would dictate if that was his box to build, and that's his box, and that's his advantage? And then it would have to be the fact that out of everything being equal, my pawn really should be pushed up further. And if my pawn was pushed up here instead of here, then I think his advantage would be very minimal. Even though now at depth 25 it drops down to 26, so his advanced pawn isn't that much strong. But this is a very healthy, normal advantage for White. So that's what he should have done. He should have focused on this box being his field of energy, and then make this his field of operations, is what he should have focused on. Then I have to focus on whittling away his advantage. So I have to calculate the energy that he puts in the box, and then I have to figure out how to equal it, to nullify it, or to if I can't put energy in the box, then I need to put energy outside of the box that aims energy into the box. So what I'm saying is, let's say he played pawn to d4 on next move, and I think that's probably what Stockfish is saying. Yeah. So let's say he played pawn to d4, okay, on the next move, okay. So now suddenly his box is stronger. You see, it looks like he went up a little bit. Maybe did he? I can't remember. I think it was the same. But now I want to add energy to the box. How do I add energy to the box? What would be my idea? So it's saying d5 to do it. So let's say I play d5. Okay. Now look at queen to c2, what is that doing? That's adding energy to the box, right? So where's our box again? Here's our box right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's his box right here. His whole field of energy is right here. Where is his field of operations? Well, he may right now only have a short field of operations from here to here. We might not be able to call this field of operations, but he might have field of operations here. But right now we don't care about that because that's going to get settled a little bit later. Right now, that what's needs to be settled and satisfied is the field of energy. So This is what's suggested by Stockfish. And you notice his I know it's only depth 17, and it's going to go down and up. Stockfish has a habit of dropping the rating and the evaluation and pulling it back up. But so far, this is looking pretty equal. So I've equalized so far the energy in the box. Now, why is that important? It's very important because if you get into a game of chess and your opponent's able, and something happens and your opponent is able to build a field of energy and he has a nice advantage, say still of 0.25 or maybe 0.30 or 0.32, he just keeps adding energy to it, and you're not, and you were late in dealing with it, and then you start to deal with it. At some point in time, you're going to get to a point where maybe it's all settled. He can't he can't add any more energy, and he also can't play in brute force chess. Um, Brute force chess plays to fill the field, the make the field of energy, and then to hold it slash improve it. Of course, I say this all the time. So if I take away some of his advantage, he's going to add some to it to get it back to where it was. But at some point in time, that's all going to stop. But if you're late in doing that, okay, then what's going to happen is he's going to have he's still going to have an advantage that he could hold on to, and at some point in time he has his field of operations out of that. But if you whittle his advantage down to something that's more minute, like 0.17, where he just has a little bit more energy in the box, he doesn't have enough energy in the box to have any type of useful um, field of operations. So what happens is he really can't push the position. He really can't do anything with it. He really doesn't have things set up for that. Um, and also, um, you're not doing you're not setting up in such a way to where you're really have any active play against your opponent. You have active pieces. You have good pieces that are doing jobs, and you're fulfilling a very simple plan and a very simple idea. But at that point, uh, you're just playing. You're just playing for two things, for one or two things. You're playing. You're playing for a middle game where you either have tactical type of threats that he has to deal with all the time, over and over and over again, that you never can be successful at, but because he defends, but he could never get anything rolling against you because he's spending all his time defending your threats to draw the game. Or if you don't have those type of threats, then you're playing to break the pawn structure up. Even if you have to sack a pawn, to break the pawn structure up, to create so many weaknesses in the pawn structure that he has to deal with that you can quickly get to them and then make threats, or have the threat of threats, meaning that nobody could push forward. I can't push forward for black because I just don't have the means to push forward. I don't have the material and means to push forward. So I'm no threat against white. But white, except for cheesy threats, except for small, minute, cheesy threats that he deals with really fast, that do have value because they are tactic. It is tactical motifs because the threat causes him to have to deal with the threat because he can't afford to lose the material, of course, because then he'd just be losing. And then, of course, the game is just going to draw. So that's the whole idea with that, and that's. But let's what did I play in this position? What did I play in this position? Let's see what happened. Oh, he played the knight here. Okay. And then, oh, then I did push. Takes. So, does white still have some advantage? No, even this is looking quite equal. So my play might not even been that good. Let's see. Let me see for a second. Well, he's saying d5. Oh. Takes. d4. Okay, so my play was okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with my play. But his d4 move is not what he should have played, right? I think his d4 move. Nope, it says d4. What says d4? Yeah, okay, so d4 is fine. He's fine. He's fine playing that. And then, oh, so I really should have played a6. So this actually might have cost me. Ooh. Yeah, I got away with one. Queen to b3. Yeah. Yeah, I got away with one, folks. You see it, I see it, right? I got away with one. So this move here was horrible. But of course, I'm working on this thing, and I'm working on a bunch of other things, and the idea is I still have ideas of crazy stuff, like get rid of this bishop real fast. It doesn't serve my position well, but I guess in this position it does serve me well, so I just miscalculated my thought. My thought was just incorrect in that, incorrect thinking, because in this position the bishop does serve me well, and even holding the pawn right now is serving me well. So I actually got away with one. I got away with one. Even though he has a massive amount of advantage right now, but that's really if that's what he's going to play for. If he's going to play for building his box, but he goes here and says I should have went there. So this move was pretty horrible too. In fact, that's really horrible. Here's e4 coming. Yeah, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm not playing my best. I'm not playing the way I should be playing. But like I said, after the next maybe couple weeks, hopefully they'll figure out the stimulus check, and I'll get some stimulus check money so I can get more internet. If not, I'll just have to wait and see what happens. And maybe I could actually, even though I really hate playing on my little netbook, I hate that. I don't hate it, but it gets hot and it shuts off all the time. All right, so I got away with one. I did get away with one. But of course it's a 1642 player, so I wonder if I should try to get another game in. I don't think I'm going to get another game in. I think I'm just going to go ahead and post this on Facebook on my chess site as at least as a good example and a good lesson on brute force chess motifs. So let's always remember, if we're going to play brute force chess, that doesn't mean that we don't play chess. It means that we're just going to play differently in the opening. Our opening game is a different motif, and our motif is to oh, so let me just take this time for a second. Let me take this time for a second and say in this game, my opponent made some bad moves. Okay, I made some bad moves too, but he did give me very easily easy development to build my field of energy. In fact, very possibly this could be my field of energy actually, but this one's a little bit. This really is looking like this is the field of energy. But he could have played differently and stopped me from that. He could have, and if you look at this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, technically 6, because technically the king's throwing energy in too. 6, 7. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got, and then 10, right? So, oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 12 points of energy. I got 12 units of energy in this box right here that he just allowed me to put in. And I've already got a field of operations. I got a clean field of operations that's not threatened by anything or challenged by anything. And so I didn't play after that very well as I should have, even though I won the game and my opponent didn't play well at all. But at the same time, that's just a given. I mean, that's just me not playing too hot in certain positions where I should play better. And that's just something I'm going to have to work on my psyche for, okay? Because my brain is just not functioning the way it should function, and that's okay. But one thing I will say is, I really think that this is what Stockfish does and regular chess engines do. Now, there are chess engines that are rigged to play gambits and rigged to play weird stuff. Those are rigged to do that. So they're not playing pure brute chess. They're playing augmented brute force chess. And I really believe this is what brute force chess is. That's all it is. We could look at algorithms. We could look at all this crap the computer does to come up with the moves. But really, when it gets down to it, what is he doing? All he's doing is filling a box somewhere with energy, and then he fills it with energy. Now, way back in the day, there used to be this thing called the backward center, but I don't see anything anywhere about the backward center, so it makes me think maybe I had a dream about it and I thought it was a memory, so that would be kind of cool if that was my idea, but I don't think it's my idea. And I remember also watching this system chess player used to play way back in the day. I think it was Floor. I think he was Czechoslovakian. Maybe it wasn't Floor, but where he would build this position that would look like complete crap. And at first, everyone was like, "What kind of crap is that? That's just so no activity or nothing." And then all of a sudden, he would just do these pawn breaks, and all his pieces came immediately to life, and all the energy inside his box just came flowing out, and was like active energy. So when I say field of operations, of course, field of operations doesn't mean just this square, this square, and this square, this square, this square, and this square. Okay, it means this whole box. Okay, it now can operate. This whole box is now functional. Sometimes the box, you might if you build your field of energy, you might only have to be satisfied with a 12 square field of operations. Sometimes you'll get a 15 square in certain positions against certain players, and sometimes you get a 15 square that's mobile. That is such a situation where you own those 15 squares. That's your field of operations, and this is you, kind of like the Borg a little bit, right? But at the same time, suddenly this whole 15 square box of operations, field of operations, might be able to turn into a 12 square field of operations that goes maybe all the way over to here, and is mobile and can move. And when we're talking about moving, though, sometimes maybe it's moving horizontal, of course. Our goal is to advance vertically. So if we think of going up a mountain, our goal is to climb the mountain to get to our opponent's king. But sometimes it's not so much that we're advancing horizontally or advancing vertically. Sometimes it's just that a piece of our field of operations can break off and grow um, something and have a piece of it on it. Meaning, like sometimes it might be like you grow an arm, you get an extra square. It's kind of like having an extra arm, and sometimes it's just kind of like you grow in advance, and it would be like if you had some type of mutation, you know, or if you had like if you grew a lump, except the lump isn't a bad lump like cancer or something, or the lump isn't even a bad lump like anything, like a zitter or anything, or a cyst or something. It's a lump of energy that exceeds your that was outside of your field of operations and now becomes part of your field of operations. And that's good to know because then we really know where we can go and we really know um, what what's safe and what's strong. But of course, we still have to play good chess. So just because I'm playing brute force chess doesn't mean I'm violating chess. All I'm doing is I'm playing for a completely different idea. And I really believe that this system, if this system takes off, maybe one day they're going to have to change something in chess. Maybe give the queen the power of the knight or something to change it because it might become very, very boring because everyone's going to be playing the same thing because it's the strongest thing to play. And um, black has to be very careful how in a lot of positions he can't really play to build counterplay. It's too slow. He never gets it rolling. Some positions he does have a little counterplay that he uses, but he's only using it to nullify energy in the box. He's not using it. He's not using it to come up with some threat or attack the opponent some way, like in indirect defense, which is active that you would do if your opponent has a threat. If your opponent has a threat over here, maybe. If I have a threat maybe over here, not in this position, maybe not so much, but say I have a threat here, maybe he can make some type of threat here, and I have to deal with that now. But he used indirect defense that's active versus just directly defending, which is passive. And then in some positions, white just plays passive, black just plays passive. Um, what looks like passive direct defense, but really he's only playing one goal. He's playing to nullify the box that white is building, okay, and nullify that box down, whittle it down to the smallest amount to get into a middle game where white has the smallest amount of advantage, and then to play one of the two middle games. Either I keep hitting you with tactical threats that you got to deal with, that keeps you from being able to advance any of your plans or try to do anything good for your position, and to improve your position or to somehow play against me, or I don't have that, so I'm just going to play to bust up the pawn structure and make you have weaknesses over the board with pawns, and also have the pawn structure not really support anything for you, and it doesn't support anything for me. It's just going to draw. Because in that, truth be told, that's all it is that's all chess really is just white doing that, and anything else doesn't work, because if white does something else, black is going to build a big field of operations, and then he's going to have an advantage, and he's going to end up attacking white at some point in time. And if white builds up a field of energy to get a field of operations, and black doesn't deal with that correctly, he's going to fall way behind in that, and then white's going to have an advantage, and then black's going to be hurting. And how do you fall behind in that? Well, if you don't know what you're doing, you can fall behind. But if you know what you're doing, and all you got to know what you're doing is I have to play against that box right now. That's what I'm playing against. He puts stuff in. I put stuff in. He puts energy in. I put energy there too, or close to there too. I put energy there too, and I stop the full power of his energy and whittle him down and but also I might do that with a tactic, like I said, like a pin or something, pin in the knight, like say in the Nimzo Indian, where the knight gets pinned. You know, Nimzo Indian, we look at that, we look at all these stinking lines and stuff. Who the hell wants to do that? I don't want to do that. I don't want to memorize all these stupid lines. I mean, there's a ton of different things I've memorized. I just want to play chess and play chess correctly and play chess strong. You know, and but maybe one day chess gets really boring again, like it was in the days of the classical players, where they played under classical motifs before the hypermodern players changed the motifs in chess. You know, and changed it and played some things that classical players never would play. You know, like support this, like control the center from a distance with the idea of occupying it later. I'll make a move if it causes a weakness in my position. If you never can get to it, it isn't a weakness then. Things like that. Hypermodern ideas. So, and then of course, what do you do if your opponent's going to play a gambit line against you? So, well, I think that I went through this whole thing where I used Stockfish, and I was looking at all these gambits, all these different gambits, like how the Colorado Gambit's a piece of crap. Don't ever study it and don't ever play it. It's just a piece of crap. Study it if you want to, play it if you want to, but don't think that you're playing good chess. If you really are like, I really want to play good chess, because you may play a bunch of players that you crush with that, and then you're just going to play players who know what they're doing, who are much stronger players. So you might as well be prepared to not, you know. So if you're going to do it, know that there's some players you're going to beat them with that, sure, because they don't know what they're doing. They just don't know what they're doing against it, how to play against it. And it's pretty cut and dry what Stockfish does against it, and black ends up with a horribly cramped position. His king stuck in the center. It's just horrible. It's just horrible. And then Trexler counter gambit totally loses for black, and so that's just the way it is. It totally loses for black because Stockfish says, I do everything that video taught you, Francis, except this move. I don't do that move. I do this move. One move. Only one move. Boom. Holy crap. Queen's got to take the pawn. Suddenly now the knight that was stuck in there comes out now, protected by a bishop. And so you tell me. You know, we're playing a game of chess. You know, you got two of my pawns sitting over there, but I got your rook sitting over there. Don't you think I'm winning the game? So you still have to win, of course. So when I say totally busted or totally crap, I really mean with proper play and strong play, but you still have to win. But then again, what do you do if someone plays a gambit against you? So if they're going to waste time playing a gambit against you, I think that there's no answer to that other than always having consideration building your box, your field of energy. And if taking the pawn, if you realize I take the pawn and this is a nice place to build a field of energy, just build it there. If it's safe, just build it there. And if it only means you get a 12 square field of operations, get a 12 square. 12 squares not as good as 15 squares, but 12 squares a field of operations is still a very good game. And if you got a strong field of energy and you've got 12 squares a field of operations, you've got a better game than your opponent. All right, thanks for watching my video and listening to me ramble on. Chess on, my chess friends, on Chessbook. Chessbook. Yes, on Facebook. And yeah, it's been a long day. And then and on my, I was thinking two thoughts at once, and they collided in my brain. Because part of my brain is saying Facebook, and the other one's thinking FTL Chess Video Information site. Chess on.